that wasn't a thing until slaves started to escape. And so what they did is they put these little slave patrols together to go and catch slaves and bring them back to their slave masters. So when you understand the root of how the police department became a thing,
Mhm.
then you understand why or how the system works still to this day.
Have you ever
They're
seen
not,
it?
I mean, they say to protect and serve, but that's not what they're doing. Who are
Mhm.
they protecting and serving? How are
Themselves.
you protecting it? Right. How are you protecting and serving somebody when uh, you act so superior that you're violating somebody's rights and then you tear up their property?
Mhm.
Have you ever like actually seen the slave badges?
No.
They're the exact same as like sheriff badges.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah.
exact same. I'll show you.
So,
I love how you said exact flame.
I know because my words messed up.
so this is why black people don't call the police. This is
The
why,
runaway slave patrol.
Yeah,
Look
this
the-
is why we have the relationship we have with the police department, because we're not protected. And a lot of times, it's like, remember that one time I got pulled over when I was taking you to EA, and he was saying I was speeding,
Mhm.
and how I handled that situation? You have to all but kiss their ass just to be able to come home and be alive, because you don't know. You don't know when you're gonna come up against an asshole cop as a black person. It shouldn't be that way. You should be able to be respectful and, you know, defend yourself and whatever, like everybody, like every white person on the planet. But that's not the case in this country. Anytime we get pulled over by the cops, anytime we get looked at by the cops, that is a possible dangerous situation. Like, every black person flinches when they see the cops, whether they're in trouble with the cops or not.
Mhm.
I didn't even tell you the other day when I didn't even tell you the other night when I left to go do a delivery. I was coming back home, and in Anaheim they had the road closed off, and it was a bunch of cops, and they were doing license checks.
Yeah, see, that's what, when we were driving with Haley and shit, I was sitting there being like, you're black. I'm
No,
Mexican.
literally, because
Slow the
fucking,
fuck down.
and there would be times where Haley, Jose, and the two of us would be talking about something, and it would be along the subjects of, like, who would get arrested for shit, and, like, it would be some stupid shit, and Haley would be like, oh, I'd get arrested too, knowing damn well she's white and she's blonde.
Yeah, she'd be the only one who'd
She'd be fine. Like, she said she was in a situation where they put everybody, they only put her in the cop car. But,
That's special.
right. And I was like, no. Not to mention, we were, I think, where were we? Were we in Westminster?
No, I think we were in Huntington.
It was either Westminster or Huntington area. And it was like, well, you have a Mexican and white person mixed together. You have a pure Mexican and you have a Blaxican. Hello. Having three races that are, like, quote unquote known for going to jail with this one white blonde person, you're fine. You're not going anywhere. The most they'll do is put you in the cop car, but they'll take you home.
Not to mention they find out that I actually don't have as much white in me. I
You're
have
cooked.
more Mexican. They're gonna be like, oh,
You're Mexican?
you're Mexican.
Jail. Nah, just kidding. Shot.
Caught,
Pop.
deported.
Crazy.
Right. Never.
Go back to some random ass Hispanic country. We
No,
don't know where
lit-
you're actually from.
No, literally.
You say you're Mexican, but I don't know. Go to Portugal. Does that work?
Go to Guadalajara. What?
And never lose sight of the fact that no matter who you're with,
Mhm.
you being a black person, you are at the most risk, the most
Yes, you
danger, period, end of story, no matter what. You're at the most risk. You're going to be the one that's blamed. This is why, when we were younger, especially when we were hanging out with the help, I was always like, mind your P's and Q's. Because no matter what happens, whether you did it or you did not do it, you're going to be the one to blame.
Blamed in public. Sometimes I gotta quiet you down. I'm like, baby, hold on, come on. Let's go over this way. I don't want you getting
I'm gonna
shit.
get shot at it.
Nah, it's because people, the looks that sometimes I will see that I'm just like, okay, this is an old white bitch. Let's go. Because not to mention, if something happens, I'm gonna get in trouble myself, because I'm gonna be like, because I know that I will step in between and be like,
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to. You have to learn how to maneuver. And especially nowadays.
Not to mention, old white people like to instigate. Because as much as I can sit there and be like, okay, just walk the other way, baby. Walk the other way. And then have that one just be like, can you just be quiet? Because I know if you get really irritated too, that's not a good thing either.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you have to.
And I know you are just trying to diffuse the situation as much as possible as well.
I'm a diffuser, not a negator. What? That was not English.
What?
I don't know, but it was what I had said.
It made sense in your brain?
Yes, thank you. A lot of things make sense in my brain that don't actually make sense, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's probably because you mix up words with different definitions.
Yeah, that part.
But that's okay, because I think everybody's brain does it every once in a while. Especially if they're similar in sounds.
Another reason why like trusting is something we shouldn't be doing, especially with them, because yeah. And flowers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
You're welcome. Yeah. Don't trust them. For real. Because especially with like girls like women, they are the most dangerous. Everybody thinks it's white men are dangerous, obviously. Look at what they've done to the world. But the white woman, that bitch is dangerous. She is the most dangerous. And she's the one that will turn on those white girl tears and get people killed. During slavery times, the white women, they were the most lethal. Those bitches were doing these unimaginable shit. They were the most lethal. It wasn't the white master slave owner, it was his bitch ass wife. So she was the problem. I mean, it's not that they weren't the problem, but she was a hell of a lot more lethal than the white man. And it's like, you know, when you're out in the world, especially in this country, you have to behave a certain way to survive. And I know we're getting into a realm in life and society where black people are like, fuck on y'all. You can suck my balls. I'm not trying to minimize myself for you. You still have to be or maneuver in ways that are going to protect you and keep you safe. Because we're not safe ever. We're not safe in this country. We never have been. So it's like you get approached by the cops. you know, keep your hands where they can see you, where you can see them. You speak with them with the utmost respect, even when they're being dicks. You can't be a dick back.
Mhm.
They'll use that as an excuse. It's like you just try to survive the situation. You try to come out of this situation alive.
Isn't that the goal for like every situation?
Yeah, but when you're dealing with the cops in this country, you're at a much more heightened risk of being murdered. That's why I get really pissed off. Why I get really pissed off about that situation, because I could have died that night, or any of the other times that the police got called, right? I could have died, you could have died. We're blessed that in Cyprus, the police, for the most part, are kind and not about that life, from what we've experienced. But that is not the normal experience for Black people. It's like, we know and understand as a community that we are at a much higher risk of being murdered when the police are involved. So you get pulled over by the cops, your hands need to be where they can see them. Your camera should be rolling for evidence later, and just in case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you speak with them with respect. You don't, you know, you don't give them any reason to do anything. God damn it. You don't give them any reason to do anything to harm you. And that's still not a guarantee, right? But it's the best you can do. We can't control other people. We can only control ourselves. And so we've all been taught that when you deal with them, yes sir, no sir, you speak in a calm tone, you make sure your hands are where they can see them, don't make any false movements. And these days, since we've got these phones with these cameras, you record. And now that, you know, he who shall not be named is in office, these cops don't have, they can't get in trouble for what they do. So they can do whatever the fuck they want. Nobody's gonna do anything. Like, they don't even have to wear their body cams anymore. The whole point of body cams was because they've been wilding out for forever and getting away with it. And how you gonna prove it? How you gonna fight against the cops? Who gonna believe you? That's why they had to start wearing body cams. But now, they can just turn those fuckers off. Who gonna do something? When you're out in the world, when you're out in public, you have got to behave like, as they used to say when I was a kid, like you got some sense. You can't be loud and boisterous. You can't be ghetto.
You know who I feel like would be the real problem? Jose.
Oh yeah, 100%. Jose would be the real problem. He would make that
killed.
shit worse.
That's the other thing. It's like, you have to.
Not yet.
We're Black. We can't be doing that, right? Like, my friends, yeah, we cut up and we're silly and goofy and doing crazy things, like, you know, acting like people were gonna jump off the bank to, you know, fuck with tourists. But we were all good kids. I didn't have friends that I'd have to worry about doing something that I could end up getting in trouble for when I did nothing wrong. I didn't have those kind of friends. You know, I didn't have to worry about being in a, you know, going to the mall and then a friend shoplifting and me being with them and being the Black kid getting in trouble for. I didn't have that problem because my friends weren't like that. All my friends were good people. They were good kids. You know, we didn't do shit that we weren't supposed to. We weren't, you know, loud and boisterous. Now listen, if Corey and I were out when we were older, booze was involved, and then people say shit, then yeah, there may be a fight.
Mhm.
A fight may break out because once he wasn't somebody to fuck with to begin with, gay or not, he'll beat your ass. But if booze is involved, and then you want to be talking shit, there most likely is going to be a fight. But outside of stuff like that, I didn't worry about being out in public with my friends and getting in trouble with the cops. You know who I would be worried about?
Getting in trouble with mom.
Being out in public with and getting in trouble? Fucking Tanaka. I would be worried about, like, I wouldn't go out with Tanaka. That was, mom told me once that was one of her big complaints. She didn't understand why I wouldn't take her with me when I go out with my friends. Because you can't be trusted. You steal, you lie, and you do shit to harm me. You can't be trusted. So no, I'm not going to jail for you. That is a stressful situation. Like when you were, I think I've told you before, when you were little, I was always on high alert when we were out in public. Because I never knew what you were going to do, never knew what you were going to say, didn't know if you were going to throw a tantrum, and at some point didn't know if you were going to steal something. That's, as a black woman, because you know that you can easily end up in jail or dead for shit that you didn't do, or for shit that white people would get away with no problem. And it sucks to have to live like that, but that's the reality of being black in America. You and Jewel didn't have to, Kim and I talk about this all the time, you and Jewel didn't have to necessarily experience that to a high level, because we raised you guys amongst different cultures, different types of people. But we've still had to instill in you that you are not like everybody else. You cannot behave the way your friends behave. You've heard me say that since you were little. It's dangerous. And now that you're an adult, and now that you're actually wandering out into the world and behaving as if you were 14, getting your teenage years back, this is the stuff that you have to be aware of. Because you can end up getting yourself in some serious trouble. Or whoever you're hanging out with could get you in serious trouble. And then those fucks end up not having anything happen to them. So like you guys are saying, Jose is an issue. You guys are out. He's acting an ass, but you're the black kid. You're the black woman in the group. You're gonna get it worse, and you're gonna get it first. And that shit sucks, but that is the reality of things. Another reason why I'm like, skirt the fuck out of here. Because it's not gonna get no better. Racism is racisming right now, like nobody's business. And it was already doing it before now, just undercover. Now they out. Now they out loud and proud. Every time you guys go out, I'm stressed. Because I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you guys are up to. I don't know who you're with. And I know that you're just getting your feet wet as far as going out into the world. And learning how to maneuver and keep yourself safe, right? I mean, I have to let you know how to maneuver in this world is to be out maneuvering in the world. I was out doing that shit on a regular, like by the time I was, 12, 13? Like I was already taking buses, going to the mall with my friends. So by the time I was your age, I had already been like out and doing shit and knew what to look for. You're just now starting to learn this shit. But the problem is, we just have to hope that whatever situations you come across, that you don't get yourself in serious trouble. Because that's always the risk. Like this whole situation we're dealing with right now, that's a huge financial problem. Now, hopefully, once you call the bank, hopefully all of it will be fine and you get out of it without
losing money or anything.
Right. Your ego is bruised, as it should be, right? This is how you learn. We've all done stuff and like we're like, I feel stupid for that. So, I mean, that's a normal emotion to feel. We have to take that emotion and remember it, keep it, so that the next time, because something else will come up, especially in this fucking country, the next time, you remember that feeling and you question before you act. You have to question everything, all the time. It's exhausting, but it keeps you out of trouble. I say all the time, it's really hard to be me. You guys call me goody two shoes and everything else under the sun. But you know what? I don't have the issues that everybody else has got because they're out here just falling out doing bullshit. I keep myself out of trouble. It's hard to always do the right thing, but it keeps me out of trouble. I question fucking everything all the time. I don't trust nobody. People have screwed me over so many times in my teens and 20s. I've gotten fucked over more times than I can count and more ways than I can tell you since I was a kid. So to keep from having to do that, I question everything. I don't trust nobody. But don't trust them until they prove that they're not trying to fuck you over. And I mean real proof, not, oh, well, they showed me this. Because think about it. I know exactly how this situation happened. He's giving you money to take care of it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you trust that you're going to get paid, right? Why would you think that all of this will break out like it did? He gave you money to show that, hey, I got money, I'm taking care of it. Until there's an issue. Just like me telling you about Santiago. You know, he think he's slick. Look at my bank account, I got all this money, so I can pay you back. Nah, nigga, you ain't getting no money from me, because I know what this is. But I've been around longer than you, so I can see that. Right when it happened, I could see it. And the moment it was going in my head, I'm like, let's see how long it takes him to ghost me after he realizes that he can't play me like that. Sure enough, it took him all of like a day. Took him all of a day. He played for like one more day after that, and then it was like, I was like, Jesus, homie, yeah, you're not gonna play me like that. Because ultimately, all it is money grab. Yep, not my money. You're not about to fuck me and my kid. Nope, not doing it. But again, that's years of me getting fucked over by people and having to pull myself out of situations because I trusted somebody who I shouldn't have trusted. So take, as I give these stories, take those in. It's, instead of being like, both you guys are most of the time, I think just color social. No. Take those lessons and remember them, because when shit comes around, wait, Mom, this happened, Mom, and she said, so, nope, don't trust it, not doing it. Keep you out of trouble. I wish my mom would have did that shit with me as a kid. I would have not gotten into a lot of trouble. long as you're still alive and breathing, you'll get through it. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. But take these moments and learn these lessons. You cannot trust everybody. Fuck, you can't trust nobody. You know what I mean? You can't trust anybody until they prove that you can trust them. So, like, you know you can trust your mama. Because I have proven time and time again, I'm not going to do nothing to hurt you. I'm only going to be there to build you up and back you up and then put you in your place so that you know better. That's how you have to think of people. You have to not trust them until they prove to you time and time again they can be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they happen to do something where you feel like you can't trust them, move accordingly. You got to start giving people side eye because they do something where you're like, nah, I can't trust you. Move accordingly. We know we can't trust Tanaka because she says shit. She's always doing something. She doesn't think you know that, but she still tries. So every time she says something to you, what do? You give her side eye. You look at that situation, you realize that shit, and you move accordingly. That's how you have to be. And that's how you stay safe. We're about to move to fucking Mexico, where we don't know nobody. Well, that's not true. I know somebody who lives there. But, you know, it's not like we're moving